Hi, it's me, meyec. Been a while since I've posted anything. Just wanted to do a quick little announcement and channel update video, I suppose. If you've seen the title, I assume you could already guess the announcement, and it's a pretty cool one. I was on a podcast, specifically the Pitch Pod Presents podcast. A few months ago, I was invited on to pitch a story, which is what they do on the podcast. It's just a group of friends that just tell each other stories, and that premise very much intrigued me. So of course I accepted, and it comes out, well, it should be out today. I pitched a story called Spider-Man Homeschooled, which, to give the basic premise, it is a sequel to Spider-Man Far From Home, how I envisioned Marvel would do Spider-Man 3. I came up with this immediately after Far From Home came out. I've just been fleshing it out and detailing it, but now that No Way Home is looking to be multiverse, complete opposite direction. Spider-Man Homeschooled is a very small Spider-Man story. It takes place entirely in New York City, and the goal for the character, as I state in the podcast, is to take Spider-Man from a friendly international Spider-Man, as he was in Far From Home, to a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I want him to be a New York-bound hero, and because I feel like that's where a lot of what makes the character special comes from, is New York City and all the other characters that live throughout New York City. So that, like I said, should be out now if I'm timing this correctly. Link in the description, just link for the Apple Podcast and Spotify as well. And now for the channel update, and this should be relatively quick. I'm going to be straying away from the video essay format, most likely indefinitely. It's something that I feel is very limiting, and I really want to go more into telling stories rather than just talking about pre-existing stories. If there is something that catches my attention, maybe, but I prefer to tell stories and make short films and maybe even a feature one day in years to come, I don't know. And I also really want to start moving away from Max Landis' Kryptonian epic. It's been a great launching point to start making short films and writing short films, to have this pre-existing universe that I could just kind of like take and then jump off from. But I want to start doing my own thing. I've been very inspired by Max and Zack Snyder, who have two very different versions of basically the same story, or not same story, same premise of compiling the DC universe into a singular narrative. And I've kind of been working on my own edition of this kind of thing, because I very much view the DC comics and these characters as a mythology. I've started working on something that I call the Kal-El Mythopia, which is a 5-act story with a prologue and an epilogue that chronicles the life of Clark Kent as he learns who he is as a Kryptonian and as a human, and steps foot into the limelight as something that eventually becomes known as the Superman, and how the world changes and how there are these other metahumans that start to rise, and enemies from the stars coming to Earth because there's something on Earth that they want, and they have no idea as to why Earth is the target of all of this. What this essentially is very much, it's indulgent fan fiction. Like, I'm not gonna say that it's not fan fiction, because that's exactly what it is. It's very indulgent fan fiction because I'm just so amused by my own bullshit. And it's been a lot of fun to write this kind of stuff. One thing that I am working on that is a priority besides college is a story called Krypton Falls, Zod's Masterpiece, which I have a draft of. It's like 23 pages long of just me pitching a story, barely any dialogue or anything written. Just me telling you the story. It's the story of how Krypton falls, and it's a story that I love. I've pretty much been brainstorming it for about 5 years, and it's something that I want to do something big with. I recently bought a camera, and I want to go out and like film with better production value, like small scenes from throughout the story, as well as rent out a studio and get some of my friends to help me to film myself pitch the story. Hopefully that'll go well, because I hate talking in front of a camera. Why am I doing this? Help me. So beyond this video and the Spider-Man Homeschooled pitch, there's really nothing that I have to show for what I've been working on, besides just writing. and that doesn't really make for a good YouTube video. So I'm planning on just continuing growing this Mythopia and expanding it and writing out stories. I want to take a few of them and just write a full screenplay for it, because they're stories that I think have a lot of potential and I think are really cool, and like, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I think they're really good. I will be posting updates, just not on here. You can follow me on my Instagram and on my Twitter, preferably my Instagram, because it's easier to use, and I hate Twitter. So follow me on Instagram, link in the description. Thanks for watching to the end, and go check out the podcast, link in the description. It was a lot of fun. I think it's a really cool story. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but it's probably going to be better than No Way Home. And once No Way Home comes out, you can come back to this video and tell me if I'm right with that accusation. Okay, bye.